Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. It's your girl, DebraSue, in the studio. Welcome to Toledo to the World with DebraSue. Welcome to all the viewers across all platforms. We have a very, very special show for you today, a very special guest, I should say, indeed. I'm very, very happy to have this gentleman on today. We're going to learn a little bit about what it's like to be an NBA player and beyond. We have Kelvin Ransey on the hot seat today. I call it the hot seat, but you know I'm going to be kind to you, family.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Yes, indeed. First of all, before we even get started, I'm going to give everyone a few minutes to hop on here because I really want to talk about a couple of things. We had the brief opportunity to talk about, you know, some of your accolades, and I really feel, as I told you earlier, that you have not received the flowers that you deserve. That you are a spiritual man, and as long as you get good in the eyes of God, that's good right there. But I also think that we as onlookers should also appreciate what you have done. You've opened doors for individuals, and you've done a lot of really good things, and we're going to give you your flowers as such. Doing some research on you, Calvin, we have a couple things here that I think that we should mention to start out giving you your flowers. And one of them is that you were drafted. First of all, you're a Mac man. Let me say that first and
Yes.
foremost. Calvin
Yes.
is he went to Mac Convert,
Yes. Amen.
right? So shout out to JPAT and all of you Mac men over there. Shout out to you guys. We got to shout you out first. I just left your reunion not long ago, and it was a really good thing.
Yes.
So Calvin graduated from there and was drafted to the Chicago Bulls. Is that correct, Calvin?
Well, after I graduated from high school, I went to Ohio
After you
State.
graduated from high school,
I
correct?
went to Ohio State, right?
Mm-hmm.
Played 4 years at Ohio State, and
Mm-hmm.
then I was drafted to the NBA in the first round. I was the
Mm-hmm.
fourth person picked in the first round.
Mm-hmm. And you were drafted to
The
Chicago Bulls.
Chicago Bulls, and what I didn't know was that the Chicago Bulls had a deal with the Portland Trailblazers, so they would draft me for Portland, and Portland would draft another player for them.
Wow.
Yeah, and that happened right before the draft, so they worked that out.
I got you. Okay. Well, altogether, you've played for 3 NBA teams, and it said, according to Wikipedia, that's how famous you are, sir. Um, average of 11.4 points, 5.2 assists, and at your highest, best season, you averaged 16 points with 7 assists. Um, you retired in 1985-86. Is that correct?
That's right, 86 was
Okay.
done. Mhm.
Okay. And then you came back to Ohio, Toledo in particular, right?
Yes.
Now, what was your ambition when you came home?
Well, you mean once I retired?
Yes.
Oh well, I went right into the ministry. In
Okay.
fact, that's the reason I retired, because the Lord had called me out of basketball to start preaching. So I immediately started preaching.
Yeah, because even when you retired, you were putting up some really strong statistics. When you decided to try it out one more time, you were doing some really good numbers then. And I was really surprised at that point that you did that, because when you went to, it says here, let's talk about Horizons
Yes,
in Columbus, you averaged 13.9 points a game.
yes, yes. And,
So you
and
had an opportunity to probably come, do something in a really significant way, but yet and still you decided to divert and take a different route.
yeah, but that my job, my thing was I was trying to get back into the NBA. I was,
Okay.
and so I was playing in the CBA, which was the league right below the NBA, and
Hmm.
all the NBA scouts check out the CBA. But what happened was my knee blew up like a balloon,
Wow.
uh, for no reason. It just blew up, and I got it drained, and I went out to play again, and it blew up again,
Uh,
and I had to retire because once I retired, my knee was all right. That was God. God said, "You're not going back to the NBA. You're going to preach."
that's
So
right. Yeah, yeah.
that's what
You
happened.
thought you were getting ready to do something, and something else was already planned for you,
They're
huh?
already playing, and the Lord would not let me go back. So that's how that happened.
Well, speaking of that, you had to make that transition, and fortunately for you, you didn't fight it a whole lot. You couldn't, because you need, you had to get sat down. I've been told before, Deborah, don't get sat down. Sit down and listen now before God has to sit you
Oh,
down.
yeah, He knows
Uh,
how.
He knows how, exactly. So speaking of that transition, how did you make the transition from, I mean, Kelvin, we're talking the NBA, right? Where
Yeah,
you have, thousands of people that adore you and cheer you on. And I mean, you have the love and adoration of, other than the competitors as we do in basketball, sports, but they loved you. I mean, you were a significant basketball player. How did you transition from, the roar of the arena to moving over into, a quieter zone in life?
yeah. I'll tell you exactly how, and give me just a few minutes here because what really happened was when I was in Portland, I was playing my best basketball. I was one vote from Rookie of the Year,
Hmm.
and then the next year I even had a better year. But what happened for some reason, Portland decided to trade me, so they traded me to Dallas. I played for the Dallas Mavericks for 1 year, but to be truthful, they didn't want me. That's the
Mm.
only reason I played 1 year there. And so from there, they traded me to New Jersey, where I played my last 3 years. But here's the thing, each place I played at, I hated it worse and worse
Mm.
because it seemed like everywhere I went, I was not really wanted. I was like a piece that if something went wrong, then it was going to use me.
Mm-hmm.
So the last two stops was that's how it went. And so by the time I got to my last year to retire, I actually didn't want to play basketball anymore. I wasn't happy. I
Gotcha.
wasn't being used the way I thought I could be used. And that was God. God was
Yeah.
just ordering my steps, getting me not to love basketball so much so that
Mm-hmm.
when he called me, it wouldn't be such a hard fight. That
Sure.
that's a
Yeah,
God
and
thing.
that can be discouraging, you know what? But still, even though you felt that way, you were still a chess player on the board,
Oh yeah,
and that's not so much the crowd. That has to do with management and the game, political games that management plays, and you and I both
exactly.
know that. Whereas the crowd knew who you were, Wikipedia knows who you are, your fan, people knew who you were, and you still were a valuable player because you didn't have chump numbers. Those were
Exactly.
good numbers that you were putting up. So it may have been that that management might have been maneuvered to such a way that it was, it had to go the way that it was supposed to go.
Exactly, you're exactly right. And so
Hmm.
again, that was God ordering my steps because if I had went to a place where I would have been able to exploit my talents, I wouldn't have left.
Sure.
I'd have pursued basketball and tried to be the best that I could be. But God had it so that he sent me to places where I didn't like it, so I wouldn't be a fight. That was amazing to me. As I look
Hmm.
back on it, I didn't like it when it was happening, but when I look back on it, I see, yeah, that was the hand of God.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's talk about maybe something that that you had experienced in the NBA that still guides you right now in your ministry at, and I probably would imagine some of the fruitages of patience and self-control and all that kind of stuff that you had to had playing in, a worldly arena. Let's say it for what it is. Okay.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
did you what did you take with you into your new life?
Yeah, I tell you what, when I played basketball, and again, God is amazing because when I played basketball, I was a point guard, and the point guard is the one who gets information directly from the coach to pass it on to the teammates. So I was the coach on the floor.
Hmm.
So I think God was preparing me to be a leader, because the point guard is always the main player on the court. He puts everybody in the right place. So that's one of the things I got out of basketball that I knew I would be a leader. But the second thing that I got was when I first came out of basketball, I became an evangelist. And the evangelist is a traveling preacher. So how about I've been traveling for the last 6 years playing basketball. So when I began to evangelize and go here and there, that just fit what God had already prepared me for the traveling part. So
Sure.
yeah, it was powerful.
Yeah. Let me ask you a personal question because, as a basketball player, any sports figure, you have young people who look up to you, right? They
Right.
look up to you. They look, sure, they like the Michael Jordans, and we all love Kobe. We know
Right.
that. When you think of the influence that you had on young people's lives, was that ever something that helped guide your steps to help you to stay above, all the treachery that goes on?
Yeah, yeah. I always love young people, and one of the things that about me and anybody that knows me know that even when I went to the NBA, I never changed. I never got high minded. I never said, "Well, I'm better than other people," because I was taught. I had great parents, and they taught me fundamentals about being a good person and having God in your life. So that stabilized me. I never changed, and so I always had an affinity to young people. And
Hmm.
so for them to come, a lot of the other players would leave. I would sign autographs. I would go places where other ones may not go because I wanted to leave an impact, being more than just a basketball player, but someone that can actually help you in your life.
Absolutely. Yeah. And you've had to actually walk that walk because you have children of your own. How would you feel about your own children or nieces and nephews who want to undertake something like the NBA? Is that something you would recommend to them?
Yeah, well, no, I wouldn't recommend that to because I would want them to live their own life. I want them to figure out what they want to do. I don't want that pressure
Sure.
of them trying to be like me or trying to do things like me. But I'm thankful that my son he recently accepted his call into the ministry. So that right there to me is greater than if he had played in the NBA. Cause
Okay.
because that's a wonderful thing. Now, my daughter, she passed in 2018, and she was a minister and
Okay.
a great young lady. So that gives me great joy to know that they moved in the will of God. That's what I want.
Hmm. You know, I've been in the entertainment industry for a while once I left the medical career, and that's a question that I often ask, you know, people who have done well with is that certain type of entertainment what you would recommend for your kids? And you know what? Majority of them say no. They
Yeah,
say no, you know, because you actually have to walk with them to kind of keep them on the path because there's so many things that can deviate them for, and some of them are losing their lives, unfortunately, in some of the trades and professions that they're choosing. But I'm happy to hear, and I'm sorry to hear about your daughter. I did see that, but I'm
she was she
happy to
was
hear that you were happy with both of your children.
Oh yeah, she was tremendous, and she left some writings. In fact, I'll get a chance. I'll send you some of her writings. That she was just brilliant. But the fact that she knew the Lord and was a minister. In fact, my wife is a minister. Our whole family uh, are ministers. So uh, I couldn't ask for more than that. I really couldn't.
Sure. Listen, family support means everything, no matter what you're doing. You know, if you're undertaking a professional career in the industry or even in business itself, it really helps to have a supportive family. And we all know when I look at a successful man, I know who's behind him.
Yes, yes, you gotta have that. And so my wife has been a rock, and what God has done. She's an author as well, and so we are in sync, trying to promote the kingdom of God and get people to come to know God.
Yeah, that's beautiful because we're walking down the road of authorship because I am also a publishing company. I've helped individuals publish. I'm a publisher
Oh,
illustrator.
that's awesome.
Yeah, and I've helped 9 people get their books, including my granddaughter. She's 8 years old, and she has her first book out on Amazon and Barnes and Noble called
Wow,
Zion's Room. So go check it out, guys. Go get that
wow,
book.
yeah, yeah,
But
I will too.
since we're talking about books, yeah, this is not your first rodeo. You've actually done this a couple times. Let's talk about your first book.
Well, I've written 3 books. My first book was called Raising Up Spiritual Threats. That was my first book. And that book had to do with us becoming more than just church people, to actually begin to work the ministries. And everybody don't have to preach to be a threat. You have to do what God has told you to do. Do your part in trying to win people to the kingdom of God. So that's what that book was about. Uh,
Okay.
the second book I wrote was called Figuring Life Out, and the subtitle was How to Live the Life God Intended. And
Mm-hmm.
that book, I really love that book, and a lot of people have gotten that book. It's a book that gives you great information about life and how to incorporate Christian living with life. And like I said to you earlier, you won't figure out everything in life because life is complicated, but you can figure out that you need God in your life. That's
Mm-hmm.
what you need to figure out because things go better with God.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, now since you've taken and you've gotten into authorship, because I think this is becoming a second love of yours. You'll probably end up publishing many more books. But
Well,
your new book that you have coming out, let's talk about that one.
yes, that book is entitled From the NBA to the Pulpit. and the subtitle is A Journey in the Will of God. This book is actually an autobiography and takes you from my childhood all the way up to my current place where I'm at. And it's a journey. And while you're reading the book, you'll go along in the journey with me. Like people will find out, I got cut 3 times before I made the team.
Mm.
I got cut. I mean, I couldn't make a team. And by the 3rd time I got cut, I said, I'm not going to play basketball. But my brother told me, give it one more try. Give it one more try, because he knew the talent I had. But I had gotten so frustrated. But that year I went out the last time. I said, this is my last time trying. And that year I made the team. I was the captain, and we won the city championship. So that kind of got me going back again on the way to basketball. But yeah, this book is going to take you through that journey. You're going to travel with that journey and all the ups and downs, and trying to live saved in a secular world and dealing with all the trials. It's going to be a good read.
Yeah. So what's the biggest takeaway you want people to know about that book? If you had to sum that whole book up in 2 sentences, what would it be? It
would be, everybody has a journey in life, and you need to figure out how to journey with God. That's the whole thing.
Okay. I like that. I like that. If you could do things over, what would you do differently?
Well, I often ask this question to my congregation and to other people just in talking. I said, if you could do life over again, if you could start over, would you do it? And most people said, yes, I would do it. But here's the thing, Deborah. Would you do it if you didn't know what you knew now? See, now that's a whole different question. Because if I could go back with what I know now, of course I'd do it again. But I wouldn't go back if I didn't know what I know now, because I might end up worse. So
that part.
Yeah. So I mean, life, you're gonna have trials in life, no matter when you started, how long you live. You're gonna have trials and tests. You're gonna have to learn how to navigate it. So I'm not willing to go back.
Yeah, I have often asked myself the same thing. I think I would do some things differently. There's that adage that you just mentioned. If I knew then what I know now,
of course, yeah.
There are some things I think we would all do differently.
Of course.
In retrospect, one thing that you change could change the rest of your life. I often say I'm so blessed with my daughter and grandchildren. If I were to change one thing, it may not be a daughter and grandchildren that I have now, and they're extremely talented and I love them to death. So be careful what you say that you want to change, because you can change. It's like stepping out into the universe and making changes that you're not supposed to make, because it alters everything in your life.
Exactly. I'd hate to go back and it'd be worse.
Yeah, exactly. That
you
part.
Could make worse mistakes. So I'm all right.
So I'm looking. So when's your book coming out? Your 3rd book, by the way.
Well, hopefully it will be out by the end of this month or the beginning of October. I'm already I just talked to my editor. We just got our flyer for the pre-sale if people want to order early. So we'll be putting that out here real soon and getting people excited about what's coming. So,
are you going to tour with the book? Are you going to, stop and try to do some setups so people can come get signatures and come talk about the book?
Yeah, we will have some book signings. Hopefully we'll have a few of them. I know I'm coming to Toledo in November, and November the 4th, if God be willing, I'll be at my old school, Macomber, doing a book signing, and also going live with some interviews. So hopefully I'll have my book there and be able to sign them. And we're going to do a few things to try to promote the book.
Perfect. Well, DebraSue is going to be in the house. I'll bring my face and I'll help promote as well. And speaking of Toledo, you have a couple of older friends, I should say lifetime friends. I don't want to say older, lifetime friends that are here in Toledo that do support you. They're also ex-NBA players. You want to give a shout out to some of those gents?
Oh yes. First of all, my brother Kenny Cunningham, that's my boy. I know he's listening to us now. In fact, he's been so instrumental in helping me to promote the book. And so the thing about these guys, Kenny Cunningham, Truman Claytor, Terry Crosby, Kim Leonard, and if you think about our era, and this is where I've been blessed, Deborah, I played in the best eras on every level.
Yeah.
And that's amazing. I think it was the best era in the city. I think it was the best era in college, and I think it was the best era in the NBA. And I had a chance to play and not be a scrub. And I'm not bragging on myself. I wasn't a scrub. I was first team All Big Ten 3 years in a
That's
row.
right. That's
That's
right.
with Magic,
Mhm.
Isaiah Thomas, and all the great ones. So I was there. I could play the game. But again, yeah, so to all the Toledo players, all the great players, and then those who came after us. But my brother was a great player in Toledo. Clinton was a great player in Toledo, along with Dennis Hobson, Jimmy Jackson, those great players that came behind us. And so we give a great shout out to the 419.
So all those names that you just mentioned, and you're right, Kenny is tuned in, and Dennis, this is a friend of mine as well. All you
Yeah,
gentlemen, Terry Crosby as well. When uh, we have this, I want to call it almost a mini reunion when you come, Ramsey.
yeah, yeah,
I think all of you gentlemen will hopefully show up and support, and we'll make a big deal out of this thing to welcome home uh our fellow Toledoan Mac man, Mac man, I should
yeah,
say.
yes, yes.
And I'm pretty sure, Kenny is an upright guy. He'll probably make sure he puts on a lot of clamor about your being back as well. But let's see what we can do to make that a great experience for you, and so that people can also get your book.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to it because not only am I going to be doing that, I'm also going to be preaching that whole week. I got a 3-night preaching engagement there in Toledo. So I'm going to be doing from the NBA to the pulpit. It's going to be actually lived out
Okay.
during that week.
Okay. And where is that going to be?
It's going to be at Trinity Faith Tabernacle.
Where?
It's on the north side of Toledo. Uh, uh, I can't remember the address right now,
Okay.
but it's on the north side of Toledo. It's Trinity Faith Tabernacle, and the pastor is Pastor Pat Smith. And I'll have some things out on it before I come.
Yeah. Are you doing like a outreach to like young people, or do you have that where you currently are right now, and how's that working for you?
Well, we deal with our young people. We are very active with our young people, but we don't necessarily do outreaches to young people. I preach mostly at churches, and many times young people come to those services, and many of them get touched. I've always had a way with young people, and my messages are not trying to be profound. I try to be relevant, and
Hmm.
so I try to make it so they understand what it means to really live for God.
Yeah.
And it's been good. I've been preaching 40 years, just this past this September. So God has been faithful.
Yeah. You've made a big transition in life, I will tell you. But I will also sum up our conversation by saying where you start is not necessarily where you end, but in the
Right.
interim and in the middle is where you learn all your lessons that will land you where you're supposed to be.
Yeah, that's 100% right. And I would like to say this too before we get off, because in our era, especially in the NBA, you got to think. I played against Julius Irving. I played against Larry Bird, Michael Jordan. I played against Magic Johnson and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and these are Hall of Famers. And
Right.
in our 6 years, I don't think there's been an era where there's so many Hall of Famers that played.
Hmm.
And so again, I'm thankful to God for allowing me to do what I did, set that platform up for me, because
Hmm.
yeah, actually it was a platform.
Hmm.
When I go to preach, when I first started, they would come to hear a basketball player preach, but now they're coming to hear a preacher who used to play basketball.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. I love that. I love that. I'm happy to see that your journey has landed. More than anything, I see the smile on your face. So the journey has landed you in a good place.
It really has. We have a tremendous church. God has blessed us greatly here.
Mhm.
And we built a church from the ground up. We bought 19 acres of land. We recorded songs. I'm also a songwriter and recorded songs. So God has just been so good to us. And we have
Yeah.
a great group of people here.
We talked, I think, maybe 2 weeks ago, and I told you, I feel personally, my own family have a lot of overachievers, is what I call them. And so when I talked to our mutual we didn't even know we had a mutual family member. So, I started
Exactly.
calling you family after that.
Exactly.
You add to my family line of wonderful people, because here you are, doing what you do, and all the accolades that you've had from the past, and you ones you have in the family. So, happy to know you, family. I'm happy to
Yeah.
know you.
Shout out to cousin Judy. She
Cousin Judy. Yep.
cousin Judy is a
Judy and
wonderful,
Ricky is.
wonderful cousin. I love cousin Judy. I love all my family.
Yeah.
She is special. She is
Well, I'm
really.
I'm gonna definitely try to make sure, if she's free, if she can get over to Macomber when you come home too. I'm sure she will. I'm sure she'll make
Yeah.
time to come by and see you as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably.
We are at our 6:20 6-hour family. If you want to give some shout outs, you might as well get it in there now.
Well, no, I just want to thank God for my wife and my children, and my church family, and my dear friends. I've been so blessed, Deborah. I can't. I tell people all the time, I've been blessed more than I deserve, and so I'm grateful for this opportunity. Thank you, fam, for giving me this space, and I pray that that the people who are listening will get the book. And I'm not trying to be rich or famous. I'm really trying to help people figure out their journey with God. That's what this book really is about. So I hope that will happen.
So, to all my followers on all platforms, including Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Roku, make sure that you keep an eye out on our page. I'm actually going to get this kind gentleman back on the show when he does right before he does the book release. So you guys will know exactly when it's going to be released, exactly where you can go and get it. Be sure you support. This man has really put in a lot for all of our entertainment, and he's still acting on behalf of individuals, in one way or the other. So make sure you do go and you do support. And Calvin, by all means, please keep that smile on your face, because it works really, really well for
Oh
you.
yeah, that's me. I got too much to be happy about to be sad.
There
I'm a
you go.
blessing.
There you go. Well, thank you for coming on to my show. And I'm looking forward. I'll get you back on again right before we
Yes,
know what the release date is, so we can go ahead and get you some more advertising and some
and
marketing.
I'm looking
Okay.
forward to it. I'm looking
Okay.
forward to it. Thank you so
Awesome.
much.
You're very, very welcome. All right, Facebook family, YouTube family, Instagram family, Roku family. We're going to see you guys next time on Toledo to the World with DebraSue. Make sure you tune in. And by all means, go to YouTube, like, and share my page, because it's by means of you that I do what I do. In the meantime, you all have a great weekend. Right? And listen, just enjoy life, and behave yourselves, and push through.
Yeah.
Have a good one, guys. We'll talk later. Bye bye.
Bye bye, everybody.